I was a terrible student and a huge baseball fan growing up. In 6th grade I had an English teacher who knew I wasn't dumb, just hard to motivate. She privately offered me an extra credit assignment. All I had to do was write a 2-page essay on any topic I liked at all, explaining why I liked it so much. I straight up turned down her offer, being content with my C grade. So she flipped it around on me and publicly told another guy in my class that since he was the biggest Red Sox fan in the class, he should write a 2-page essay about the Red Sox and present it to the class. I practically jumped out of my seat and said I was a way bigger Red Sox fan than Mike, and I should be the one writing that essay. She let us both write one. She was a really good teacher. Watching my stepdad call the principal of my school in 4th grade out on his bullshit right in front of me. Because it was the first time I had a father figure in my life who cared enough about me to stand up for me. Every Scholastic book fair in elementary school. In high school we had a group project, and this class was 90% girls, so the other 10% guys, including me, were in a group. This teacher used to kinda gang up on us with the girls, and one day she was preoccupied, and we were talking about how we didn't want to be there, and we should just jump out the window. This one guy scopes out the window, sticks his feet out first, gave us a wink, and just jumps out. Dropped probably 7 to 10 feet onto the grass, and just waltzes back into class like he just came from the bathroom or something. Teacher didn't even notice. Second semester junior year, springtime, just setting in a new group of guys became a part of our family. We were busy every day hanging out and partying at the house, and the girls we were talking to all loved us. Good times. One of my math teachers in high school was a bit on the crazy side in a very good way. He'd scoot around the room on his desk chair, rolling over backpacks and the like. He'd punctuate talks with weird sayings like but, he said, which is tub spelled backwards. He generally made the class time entertaining for everyone. One day, he decided to show us the derivation of a mathematical formula. Nowadays, showing this particular formulation to a bunch of high school students would likely get him kicked out. I don't remember the exact derivation, but the end result was the integral of e to the x power equals some function of u to the nth power. Written out, it looks like this. Say x equals f u n. Yes, he went through a whole mathematical derivation just to tell a group of high school students sex equals fun. Every morning my teacher will ask us questions about history. If we get it right he would give us a Snicker bar. But this the funny part, he would throw the Snickers bar at us real hard. So if get the question right you would had to dodge the fast-moving Snickers. The one time in 4th grade when I managed to beat up the big bully in my classroom. In 3rd grade, it was some reading appreciation week, and we decided as a class to visit a cemetery. Granted, it's a pretty famous cemetery, with a couple of really important people buried there, and we had a scavenger hunt to find them. Along with like the oldest grave we could find, the biggest, and we had to make a rubbing of one of our choosing. As a strange child, it was the best field trip I had ever been on. I received my crush's love letter. Going home. Watching my mother rip the principal a new one, because a typing teacher failed me for poor posture, despite my having 100% on every assignment plus bonus marks. Mom ranked up that day. I don't know why I remember this, given the timeline here. When I was in kindergarten, we were all sitting in a circle being read to by the teacher. One of the teacher's aides walked up behind me and patted me on the top of the head. For some unknown reason I leaned back and ended up with my head completely under her dress. She had on a very nice pair of white lace undies. That ended my luck with women for like the next 20 years. skipping out on a Monday to drive to the city 5 hours away to see Iron Maiden in concert, December 1984. I got in trouble for calling my English teacher out on an incorrect Harry Potter fact she was spouting one day. Granted, I was a little shit, and was also refusing to do the work she assigned, but I was done with her BS. Principal decided to give me detention as punishment. Thing is, detention involved an hour or so of homework/reading time, before a period where we were to help the host teacher with whatever tasks they needed. I was a book nerd, and the host teachers were both science teachers, who I got along with swimmingly. Plus, they wanted help with cleaning the fish tank. Needless to say, those days of detention were awesome. I just remember the principal's face when he asked me how detention was going. Apparently, being excited to go back was not what he expected. Oh boy, it was a few months before Corona. Middle of the winter. It was so cold that I guess the morning dew froze, and so the floor was kind of frosted over. I'm late to school riding my bike as fast as I could. I arrived but my class was kinds far. So I run for it determined to make it on time. I go up the stairs of the 800 building, which is outside of the building, and run to my class. I'm running. Then I notice I'm about to run right past the class who were all outside. I make an abrupt stop, but the frosted floor has other plans. I slide about a good 6 feet, while still standing. Everybody's watching me in awe. I didn't fall down. It was epic edit, BTW, I made it on time. I've shared this story before, but it's probably one of my favorite memories of high school. Halloween costumes were banned at my high school, because of some idiots like 10 years before that dressed up and used it as an excuse to hide their face while they vandalized the school. My senior year, more than half of the class decided that we would still dress up and march into the school together in the morning. We all knew we would be punished right away, but it didn't matter. I stayed up all night making a suit of armor out of metallic duct tape and cardboard, along with a broomstick horse to ride. Here is a picture of me that ended up in the yearbook, https:// imager.com/srn3rf JPG. The next day we all gathered in the parking, and waited for everyone to show up. People went all out, and there were a lot of amazing costumes, and after about 20 minutes of waiting we started our march in. The deans had learned of our plan, and were waiting for us right as we entered. They started pulling people aside in groups, and taking student IDs to hand out detentions. In my group there was one guy dressed up as an ATM, and when the dean asked for his ID, he started making ATM noises, and then slipped the ID out through the slot where you would put your debit card in. It was one of the funniest things, and I was so jealous that my costume was not as clever as his. Even though having so many of us participate was pretty awesome, his costume just made that whole event for me. Slowly hiding all of the textbooks in the ceiling in my carpentry class over the course of the semester till they were all gone. A math teacher paused a class because he got a message from his brother. His brother met a girl at a party, and had a crush on her, but he found a week later that she was lesbian, and got a heartbreak. He went outside to call his brother, and came back and told us the story. I was always a shy introvert, and when I went off to high school, I made it a goal to do one thing during my 4 years there that would force me out of my comfort zone. I ended up trying out for the cheerleading team. I was definitely not the type to get up in front of a crowd and cheer. The tryouts involved performing a personally choreographed dance, which was no issue as I had some dance background. They allowed those who wanted to try out to perform their dances in groups, but since I had no friends I did it alone. I was so damn nervous, but I did it, and I made the team. The rest of my high school experience pretty much sucked, but that one thing made me really proud of myself.